Hello, Royal Affairs family. This is Roy.
And I'm Yolanda.
And we're your guys in Royal Affairs, where we show you
Affairs done right. What's up, fam? Thank you so
back.
much. We are back with part 2 of our discussion on how long recovery time takes after infidelity. But first of all, we want to thank you guys so much for joining in and rocking with us.
Thank you so much.
You know, infidelity is a heavy topic, and unfortunately it happens, but no one wants to talk about it. So how can we heal if we're not talking about what's going on? So this channel is designed to share our experience, to share our story, where we are, helping couples find love and trust again through what we love to do, which is traveling. And we're just hoping that something that we say, the points that we make, resonate with you guys. We're not experts. We're experts in our relationship, and we're still learning. But we didn't go to school formally, to become a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, or anything like that. These are the experiences that we are sharing that have helped us, and we hope that something that we say resonate with you guys, right?
Very much hope so. So last time we talked about how long, not long.
Oh, God.
How long does recovery time take after infidelity? We talked a little bit about there's no set timeline for it. It can happen, and then 15 minutes later, you're like, okay, are we done yet? No, it'll take some time, but there's no set timeline. It's couple dependent. I was gonna say, what helps me with that is I know when we've had 5 babies, and after each baby they say, okay, well, it's going to take your body just as long, if not longer, to fully heal as it did for you to have the baby. So you're pregnant 9 months, it's going to take you that long, if not a little bit longer, for that process or that healing to take place fully, to get your body back to where it was beforehand. Yep. So no set timeline. In the last video was where we talked about the first 6 months are crucial.
Right.
Using that time intentionally, prioritizing your emotional safety, and seeking professional counseling would probably be the 2 things that we would probably talk about most, because at that point you're very raw and in a very vulnerable state. So there's some actions that you probably want to take sooner rather than later, but to be very intentional in those first 6 months.
And then you want to definitely avoid making those major decisions during that time.
And then the last thing that we talked about last time was that progress isn't linear. It's not just a straight path, right? You may take 1 step forward and then 2 steps back, or 2 steps forward and a step back. You may take a step sideways or to the left or to the right, because you're still processing what you've been through. And in a situation like this, it may be in one of the most traumatic events in your life. And so even though you've touched on a topic once, there may be new information, new guidance, new revelation as you're both growing and healing as well. There may be some things you want to revisit. Yeah, that's right. So it's not a linear process, and be okay with that.
Right, which is sometimes challenging for the overcoming perfectionist like me. Just understanding that it's okay. It doesn't have to be A, B, C, D, E, and then all the way to Z. Like, you may do A, B, B, A. I mean, you might go back. So and be okay with that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And if you want to hear more about those points, make sure you go back to the video over here and take in all of that particular content. But today we wanted to press a little bit forward and talk about some additional points as well. Of how long does recovery take after infidelity? Right.
So, point number 4.
Number 4.
Consistent effort speeds up your healing. So, couples who engage in therapy and have open communication and are consistent, they're the ones that are rebuilding off. And they're consistent. Rebuilding efforts often recover faster, and that's because you're, as Roy mentioned, you're being intentional about the steps that you're going to take for this recovery process.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a competition when we say faster, but if the idea is that we want to get to a point where we can thrive again, not only survive but thrive again, then what things are we doing to actually get there? What intentional steps, and then are we making those intentional steps consistently?
Right, because you can say, okay, we're gonna go to therapy, we're gonna go to counseling, and you can go once a week. You can sit in there for, usually it's an hour, and you can come out and you can do absolutely nothing with the tools that you gained during that time, and then you go back the next week and you sit for another hour and leave, and you do absolutely nothing again with that. Your therapist might be happy depending on how much the pay is. Right. But if you're not being intentional about doing the things that are being recommended during those times, then that's not really beneficial. You want to be consistent in those therapy appointments, as well as being consistent in doing the things that have been recommended for you to do.
Yeah. And I think for us, we've recognized where we've been in pockets where we haven't been consistent. But because we recognize it's like, and oftentimes Yolanda will say, baby boy, I'm a little frustrated because we said we were going to do X, Y, and Z, and here we're not doing it. And then we say, well, we got to get back on the horse again and be consistent, which kind of goes back to the previous point about it isn't linear, right? So, but the ability to have a partner that wants to stay in the fight with you, to be consistent, it does help mature you in the recovery process.
I help mature you.
Yes, you do.
Triggers may last.
Oh, you got another point?
Oh, sorry. Yep, point number 5. Triggers may last longer than you think. So even after you're going through the process of your being intentional, you're going to your therapy, you're being consistent, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do. Even after that trust is rebuilt, moments of insecurity or sadness can definitely arise, and I can definitely attest to that, because during the early stages of after being informed, and we were going through the process of therapy, and we're going through the things and the to-dos and the date nights and the communication, all this, there were still pockets of, okay, are you sure that I'm the one you still want to be with? Are you sure you love me? Are you you happy in this marriage? You want to work through things, you want to continue to rebuild these. So those insecurities definitely are still part for the course, and then that's the thought of, oh man, wow, we're going through therapy for this. Man, he cheated on me. Good, so those things can happen. And it's normal. What you have to do is remind yourself of where you are. Yeah. Okay, yes, these are the feelings that I'm feeling right now. However, has he done anything that will that have caused me to feel this way, or is it just things that are a trigger that I may have had? And normally 9.9 times out of 10, it's a trigger that have come from nowhere. Yeah. Because that's what triggers are. They just kind of show up when least expected. Right. I remember where your trip. No, I wasn't. I thought you were going to talk about you were riding. No, somewhere. Yeah, well, I was in Cancun, minding my own business, just getting ready to go to a resort, and there I was in the Uber or Lyft or whatever it was, and I see a sign of your former employer, and I was like, really? Here I am about to have fun in the sun, and I'm seeing this. So did I call you, or did I text you? I think you texted. And I said, babe, you would not believe what just happened. And it did not hamper my ability to have a great time. I think Roy knows me enough to know that if I keep, it's better for me not to keep things in. And so I was like, baby, you would not believe what just happened. Just saw this sign, your former employer. Here I am, hundreds of miles away, and I can't believe this is happening. I laughed about it, and that was it. You don't necessarily laugh about it when you're first in the throes of, when you're in the throes of things, and that's a great way to know, you know what, you're on this progress of healing, because it's like, I mean, what you gonna do? You didn't do anything to bring this trigger. It's, happened, and we're okay right now.
Right.
And then one of the last, but certainly not least, things to do is just to celebrate the milestones.
So celebrate
is in your brown voice.
In
your brown voice, yeah. Celebrate the milestones, no matter how small or insignificant you may believe it is. It's important to celebrate those things, because that means that you're making progress.
Right.
That means that you're being intentional. That means that you can see there's something for you to see that has happened, that has changed, that allows you to celebrate. Right. You gotta, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Acknowledge those moments of growth, in the both of you guys. And then it helps to reinforce the progress that you guys have made thus far. And then it fuels you to continue making the progress.
Right. So if your coach only, put you through the ringers of your workout, and, gave you, tough workout, tough assignments, tough things to do, and that was it, and never necessarily celebrated those. Well, I don't know, maybe you're different, but in our situation, one of the things that really helped us was, acknowledging, hey, we really had a great time tonight. It could have been times before where we went out and you saw someone that looked like my previous person that I had the unfaithful relationship with. And then, that may have ruined the whole evening.
Right.
But being in a space where you can say, yep, looks kind of like her. Yep, you're right. That does kind of look like. And then we still had, a good time. So celebrating wins like that allows you to see that, progress can be made if you're doing some of the things that we, kind of suggested on this channel that have helped us. And then you'll find your own path and your own ways to celebrate too.
Right. Yeah. And remember that, what we've listed, are definitely not the end all be all.
Yeah.
There may have been other things that may have helped you. And if so, then we definitely love to hear them, because as we stated, and I believe the first part, every couple is different.
That again.
Every couple is different, but our prayer and our hope is that some of these things, you can find some nuggets, and if it's at least one of the points that we've made, that you can find some nuggets in it, right?
Yeah, for sure. So if you like what you're hearing, go ahead and make sure you hit that like button. And one thing that will really help us out as well is go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of our future content. With that being said, I'm Roy.
I'm Yolanda.
And we're your guides in Royal Affairs, where we show you
affairs done right. See you guys next time.